In Lagos, they say the city never sleeps. But that night, under the golden lights of Victoria Island, Lovely awake, wounded. The sea breeze carried the sound of distant traffic, expensive laughter, and quiet tears that nobody noticed. Because in Lagos, people admire success. They celebrate wealth. They bow to power. But love is often ignored until it disappears. Her name was Rose Makoko. Rose was not born into money. She was born into hope. She grew up in Makoko, where wooden houses floated on water and dreams floated on prayers. Her mother sold smoked fish at the roadside, her hands always smelling of firewood and perseverance. Her father died when she was 9, leaving behind an unfinished life and a girl who learned early that love could disappear without warning. But Rose was different. She smiled even when life pressed its knees on her chest. She believed kindness was not weakness. And she carried herself with a quiet dignity that confused people who thought poverty meant shame. She moved to Lagos Island at 19, working as a personal assistant and errand manager for wealthy families, not because she wanted luxury, but because she wanted education. Every night, she studied by candlelight, whispering prayers into the dark. God, don't make me rich. Just make me enough. Daniel was a name that opened doors. A billionaire by 35. CEO of Daramola Holdings. Featured on magazine covers with cold smiles and tailored suits. He had everything Lagos admired. Power. Money. Connections. Control. But he had nothing Lagos whispered about at night. Peace. Daniel grew up wealthy, but not loved. His father believed affection created weakness. His mother learned silence as survival. So Daniel learned something else. Love was a transaction. Loyalty was bought. People stayed because of benefits, not feelings. And because of this belief, he treated relationships like contracts. Women came. Women left. None stayed long enough to know him. And he never noticed the emptiness, until Rose walked into his life carrying a simple brown file and a polite smile. Rose was assigned to work temporarily at Daramola Holdings during a staff shortage. She noticed him immediately, not because of his wealth, but because of his loneliness. Daniel noticed her too. Not because she was beautiful, Lagos was full of beauty, but because she was untouched by his power. She didn't flirt. She didn't fear him. She didn't worship him. She greeted him with respect, not hunger. And that unsettled him. One evening, after a board meeting filled with lies disguised as loyalty, Daniel found Rose alone in the office, arranging documents calmly. "Why are you still here?" he asked. She smiled softly. "Someone has to finish the work, sir." Nobody had ever said that to him without expectation. Their bond grew quietly. Lunch conversations. Shared silences. Small jokes. Rose listened, truly listened, when Daniel spoke. And for the first time in his life, he found himself talking without performing. She told him stories of her childhood. He told her nothing, but she saw everything. The sadness. The guarded heart. The boy who never learned how to be held. Against his better judgment, Daniel fell in love. But love terrified him. So he did what wounded people often do. He tested her. Daniel introduced Rose to Lagos high society. Expensive dinners. Glittering events. Whispers behind champagne glasses. People mocked her quietly. A village girl. She won't last. She wants his money. Daniel never defended her. He wanted to see if she would fight. Beg. Change. One night, at a grand party in Ikoyi, Rose overheard something that shattered her soul. Daniel's friends were laughing. "She's just temporary," Daniel said, his voice calm, careless. "She doesn't belong here anyway." Rose felt her heart tear, slowly, deeply. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She left. Rose resigned the next morning. No explanation. No drama. She returned to Makoko, her spirit bruised but intact. Her mother held her as she cried for the first time. "I thought love was safe," Rose whispered. Her mother replied, "Love is safe. But people must grow to deserve it." Without Rose, Daniel's world collapsed quietly. The silence became unbearable. The money felt heavy. The power meant nothing. For the first time, he realized something terrifying. He had loved someone who loved him without conditions, and he destroyed it with pride. Months passed. No woman filled the gap. No deal healed the ache. Until one evening, he saw Rose again, volunteering at a community education center, teaching children under a leaking roof. She looked happier. Not richer. Not famous. Just, oh. Daniel knelt. A billionaire, kneeling in dust. "I didn't know how to love," he said, voice breaking. "But I want to learn, even if you never choose me again." Rose looked at him for a long time. Then she said something Lagos high society would never understand. Love is not choosing someone when they are useful. Love is choosing growth, even when it hurts. Daniel changed. Not for cameras. Not for Rose. For himself. He repaired schools. He humbled himself. He learned to listen. And months later, under a quiet Lagos sunset, Rose chose him again, not because he was rich, but because he was changed. True love does not beg to be respected. It teaches. It waits. And sometimes, it walks away until growth is born.